And welcome to the brand new Inland Sports TV show. Jeff Gorham, Pep Fernandez, we're back. We're better than ever. Jeff, this is the Inland Empire Sports Show that people have wanted for years. It's taken us a while, but we finally got to this point. We're excited to be here with Val Verde High School Teen Vision TV 16. We're in their beautiful studio. We got suits on. You shaved. I got a little bit of makeup. We're feeling great.
Hey, I'll tell you what. You said all of this time. It's been 1,100 hours the last 2 years. Pep and I put in 1,100 hours.
On air?
On air. We've done a lot this last 2 years. It's nice to finally be on TV, but that equals 49 days that you and I have spent together just on air.
Just you and I?
Yes.
Breaking bread, traveling, sitting next to each other, talking Inland Empire Sports.
I didn't even include the traveling. If we're including the traveling, we're going to include, it's going to be a lot more. I've seen you more than I've seen my wife and 3 boys.
Ditto.
But it's been fun. I'm really looking forward to this.
This is awesome. And again, we can't thank Val Verde High School enough. This is their set. I mean, this is beautiful. TV 16 here at Teen Vision. Johnny Nunez, Mr. Del Campo, the whole crew. We've got Jacqueline, we got Carlos, we got Carla over here in studio. We got actual real camera people now. This is the real thing, Jeff, so we can't screw up.
Hey, I had a face for radio. Now I have a face for TV.
People can see that.
Yeah,
for sure, right?
There it is. All in all my glory. Here I am.
So for the next hour, it's all Inland Empire sports. Before, we were kind of force-feeding Dodgers and Lakers talk, and we love those teams. All IE. We have UC Riverside Headman's basketball coach David Patrick. He's going to join us live in studio. We're going to hear from the University of Redlands head football coach Mike Maynard. A lot of high school football coming your way as well. And Jeff, that's where we start. Let's start with a feel-good moment because we're positive. We want to shine a positive light here on the IE, the cool things that are going on. A game that we broadcasted live radio on the Inland Sports Channel on Saturday night. It was Etiwanda taking on Murrieta Mesa. Big game, 2 great teams here in the IE, but a real special moment. Johnny, let's go ahead and roll that video of Toby Kierden scoring a touchdown. And this came late in the game, Jeff, between Murrieta Mesa and Etiwanda. This game had already been decided when both coaches decided to let Big Toby here. Toby is a player for Murrieta Mesa. He is autistic. And on the final play of the game, they hand the ball off to Toby, and he's going to take it all the way to the house. Both teams surrounding Toby, celebrating. Of course, people taking pictures and selfies. What a special moment down there at Murrieta Mesa. So we want to give a shout out to the Rams and the Eagles for making this happen. It was a big win for Etiwanda as well, 45-26. But this was the moment everyone's going to remember. Let's hear from Etiwanda head coach right now, Kevin Davis.
All right, Coach, big win for your guys tonight, coming off a shutout win over Summit and a good Murrieta Mesa team. What went right for you guys tonight?
A lot went right. We have a lot of stuff to fix, but, kudos to those guys. I mean, they challenged us, number 6 team in our division, so we told our guys, expect a playoff atmosphere, expect a playoff team, and that's what they gave us, But I think we executed pretty well. Got a little sloppy at times, but I'll tell you what, I'm proud of our guys. We're playing with enthusiasm, and things are starting to click, so we continue to get better. Get this thing rolling a little bit, yeah, for sure.
Sophomore quarterback tonight, what can you say about his poise?
So, pretty similar to last week. He made some great decisions. A couple decisions we're working on still, but I think from game 1 to game 2, we talk about huge improvement, so I think that's solid for sure. He's got a lot of poise, and I'll tell you what, I think the best is yet to come with him for sure.
What are you guys looking to clean up in practice for next week?
Well, we got a short week, so we play on Thursday, so we got to go quick. I think it's just a matter of watching film ASAP on Monday and just little things. I think there's a lot of little things. Penalties for sure. We got to be a lot more disciplined for sure. I think that's it without a doubt.
Explain a little bit what happened in the last play of the game and how cool that was for you guys to be a part of.
So before the game, Coach Turner, came to me and said, Coach, we get a situation, we got a young man, we like to, hopefully give him the ball and have him score. And the situation arose, we called timeout, we talked about it, and I said, you know what, let's have everybody join the sideline. So we all went over to their side, and we had their man Toby score. And that was amazing. I think it was a great moment for our guys. We played a great game. We did the right thing at the end. So I was proud of our guys for sure, and I was happy we could do that for Mesa.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, so that was Etiwanda head coach Kevin Davis there. And again, the moment of the game, Toby Kendra at the end scoring that touchdown. Very awesome. That was live on the Inland Sports Channel, Jeff, this past Saturday. We're back doing live radio again this Thursday night as Arlington is taking on Jurupa Hills. Our good friend Cullen Holt, who's standing by over here, Tim Hatch, they will have the call as Arlington is taking on Jurupa Hills. 2 teams, I think it's going to be very competitive.
Yeah, and new coach Jeff Roney's taking over for Rich Lunsford, who ended up going over to Rev. I'll tell you what, it'll be a very good game. 2 teams from 2 different areas. Jeff Roney starting over at Arlington.
All right, let's punch up that graphic so you can get the details against the Inland Sports channel. So if you're watching us live right now anyways on the YouTube channel, you can listen to live radio, Cullen Holt and Tim Hatch live this Thursday night. The game kicks off at 7 o'clock, so we'll be on a couple minutes early with the pregame show as well. Now moving on, we got to talk about Cajon football. They open up the season with a huge win against Helix, who played for a state championship a year ago. They beat Helix. They pummeled Paloma Valley. Now they get Murrieta Valley. Cajon with Jaden Daniels as a senior, Jeff. We've talked about this guy for 4 years. He is absolutely unbelievable.
I'll tell you what, between Jaden Daniels and Hank Bachmeyer, you have the two best quarterbacks in the state of California.
And they're going head-to-head again.
Yeah, let's just put it this way. Jaden Daniels has 9,800 yards and 118 touchdowns in his career. Hank Bachmeyer, 10,320 yards and 125 touchdowns. Between the two of them, they've thrown for over 20,000 yards and 243 touchdowns combined. That's 4 miles of throwing the football, Pep.
Two of the best that come out of the IE. Hank Bachmeyer taking his talents to Boise State. Jaden Daniels, we still don't know. What's our hunch, though, on the Inland Sports Show?
He's either going to play for Chip Kelly at UCLA, but my money is going to be at the University of Utah.
Could happen. And Darren Jones, his big, tall, 6'9" receiver, who's a great basketball player. Wink, wink. He already committed to Utah to play football, so we'll see if Jaden Daniels will follow him as well. All right, moving on. We still got to get to the Rancho Verde High School. We got to see them this past week against one of my favorite teams, Santiago. And wow, the Mustangs look great. Jeff, they are back. They've got all their skill position players back. They got a new quarterback, Anthony Duffy. So he looks really good as well. But they got Jackson Turner. They got U2, Xavier Ugorgi, who wears number 2, Jordan Jefferson. That was a huge win for Rancho Verde. I think it was very telling as well, because you win a CIF championship. How are you going to respond the next year? New head coach, although he's not really new with Pete Duffy.
No, and I'll tell you what, when you look at Rancho Verde across the board, state champions in track, CIF champion in basketball, and CIF champion in football, he's got athletes to choose from. That's for sure.
All right, and from talking about Rancho Verde to Centennial, we're going to get to more Centennial football in the third segment of the show. Cullen Holt was out at practice on Monday night. He caught up with head coach Matt Logan. They beat Chandler from Arizona, who's nationally ranked. Then they go on and they beat Orange Lutheran, who's one of the top teams in the southern section. Now they get Pittsburgh from up in the Bay Area. It looks like it's going to be another Centennial win, so we'll talk more Husky football with Cullen Holt in our third segment. Citrus Hill, our first look at Citrus Hill this past week. They go on the road to beat Palm Springs, kind of like what Aquinas did, Jeff. They're doing it with defense. They beat Palm Springs by a score of 13-2. We got some of those highlights as well. Citrus Hill doing just enough on offense. They got the defense. Citrus Hill now has cranked the CIF Southern Section rankings at last check in Division III, which they just came out on Monday.
Yeah, Citrus Hill is a dominant. They're a ground and pound team. So I look for them to continue their dominance in this side of town.
All right, so Citrus Hill cracks the rankings for the CIF Southern Section, but let's get to the Inland Sports rankings. It's called the Grade 8 and 4 more. We do it every single week because between, Jeff, what we do on Inland Sports and IEMG TV and Riverside TV, nobody sees more high school football than us. I mean, with our own eyeballs, we are at games. Here's our rankings right now. You can't argue with the top two, right? Centennial and Cajon, and then it gets a little muddled. You can make a case for a lot of these schools to be higher.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Heritage is always underrated, but every single year they're vying for a CIF and a state championship. I like them at third. And fourth, you have Rancho Verde. Rancho Verde is the most athletic team we're going to see in this Grade 8 plus 4 more.
All right, so that's our Grade 8 and 4 more. Again, some of these teams will be going head-to-head in the coming weeks. So these rankings might look a little bit different as we kind of work our way and trudge through the high school football season. But right now, based on what they've done so far this season, that's our Grade 8 and 4 more here on the Inland Sports Show. All right, when we come back here, Jeff, this is going to be a real treat because we got the head men's basketball coach from UC Riverside, David Patrick, in the house.
It's one of our guys. Can't wait to see the team this year. He's come over from great programs. He was at LSU, TCU, and now he's our head coach at UC Riverside.
And now the season's right around the corner. Early November is when they're going to tip off with the Highlanders. So when we come back, we're going to sit down with David Patrick, the head basketball coach at UCR. When we come back on your favorite show, the Inland Sports TV show.
thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Spoiled. Quick, quality oil change. Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled. Kin Sporting Goods. They have all of your sporting gear needs, Letterman's jackets, and team uniforms. Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. You're going to save thousands of dollars at Catalano Motors. And Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass. Athletes of all levels and all sports are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona.
Focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. Just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. Come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
This is Kenny Clark from the Green Bay Packers, and you're watching the Inland Sports Show.
And welcome back to the brand new Inland Sports TV show. We're here at Teen Vision TV 16 on the campus of Val Verde High School. Our first in-studio guest. So, Coach, as long as this show's going to live, you'll always be our first in-studio guest here. And we're happy to have David Patrick, the head men's basketball coach at UC Riverside. Coach, we're getting very close to the season now. Is it exciting to know the season's so close and kind of see this all kind of coming together now?
You know, it definitely is. I know it's been a long summer for our guys on the floor, and I know as excited as I am to be on the court, they're ready to get off the practice field and onto the playing field.
So you've done your recruiting. The schedule is in place. What between now and that first week of November are you guys going to be doing now?
Look, I think we've spent these first couple months getting in shape and getting in the kind of shape I want them to be in, and getting bigger, stronger, and faster. And now we want to get used to playing together as a team. You know, anytime you implement new guys, we have a lot of freshmen in with some transfers, and obviously the returners. It's just getting them to gel as soon as possible. So that's my goal by November 6th.
Now, you've had a little bit of time with the guys together. I know the NCAA is very strict on how much time you can actually have in a week or whatnot. But when's the first date that you guys can actually get out there as a team and kind of get in that full practice schedule leading up to the season?
Yeah, so it's for us, it's September 24th is when we'll get on the floor as a team together. We have an 8-week period that we're able to work over the summer, but we're limited to 4 hours a week, and so there's only so much you can do. An hour a day, probably 4 days a week is what we're at the moment. But when September 24th hits, it's kind of, I get as much time as I need, probably, But I think anytime you get those, you can get a 2-3 hour practice in early on, it just gets you working on both sides of the ball. At the moment, we're probably focusing a lot on our shooting and rebounding, which was some areas we lacked in or they lacked in last year. And my hope has just been to improve that over this summer break.
Have you liked what you've seen so far? From that limited time with the guys, you're like, I see some progress here. I feel pretty good about this season.
You know what? I've been pleasantly surprised. One has been the buy-in first, that they bought in academically first. My team got over a 3.0 as a team.
Excellent.
GPA, so that's a big win for us as a team. Conditioning-wise, we have a high conditioning standard. Only 2 guys haven't made it thus far, so that's a great accomplishment for them. And they're shooting the ball better, and they're getting stronger in the weight room. And that's all you can ask for, for a new coach is buy-in.
We've talked about this a little bit before in the past, and you don't have to give away all your secrets here, but, what are the hallmarks of a David Patrick team? What are you guys going to do well? What's this UCR team going to look like?
Look, I think first and foremost, we're gonna rebound at a high level. And that's something I've stressed that travels with you, whether you're making shots or missing shots. If you rebound every night and win that war or win that battle, it allows you to compete and give you a chance to win every night. We're going to share the basketball at a high rate. We're not going to be a selfish team, and my hope is not to just shoot shots, but make shots. We want to play at a high pace, but we have big guys inside, and the New Zealand kid Callum McRae and Minnow Dykstra is going to be a senior bigs that can help us inside, and we have some exterior shooting. And Dikembe Martin, our local star, and DJ Sylvester, who I think will be a surprise, and our overseas kid in Dragon Elkaz, who think will be a good surprise for all of us.
Besides between myself and Jeff Gorham over here, we saw all the games last year, and we saw a lot of low, scores in the low 60s. These battles and some of these possessions and baskets down the stretch came up huge. Do you feel like you said, the rebounding and just maybe hitting a big shot or two down the stretch could be the difference of having a winning record and a losing record? I think that's huge, and the only way you can make pressure shots is by putting in pressure situations now, which we've tried to do day in, day out. And so the hope is that it carries over, to the season. And, I coach a little different. I want to give them confidence on the offensive end. I'm a little bit stricter, a lot stricter on the defensive rebounding end. But, if you play, great defense and rebound, I'll give you all the freedom you want on offense. And I think that's a fun way to play, and your guys buy in. So, you open up with Oregon State, right? On the road in Pac-12 territory. Are you going to use that game as a measuring stick of where this team's at, or is it too much? I don't want to use pressure, but is it too much to use that one game to be like, okay, now, hey, we win this game, we're going to be great this year. If we lose that game, what's going on?
Look, I don't think you can couple this season into one game, but I think it'll be a great challenge for us going. Anytime you go on the road, it's tough. Obviously, going to play a great opponent, a Pac-12 opponent in Oregon State will be a good challenge for us. I think the good thing is these returners had some success last year, beating a Pac-12 team in Cal, which they did last year. So it's been done. I think our new guys, it's all new to them. So hopefully the size of the arena and the fans don't get to them. But as excited as they are, I am as well. It's my first real game as a head coach from start to finish. I've been in games where my boss has been ejected, but I haven't.
You had to step in there.
Yeah,
was that Jamie Dixon?
That's Coach Dixon.
At TCU?
Yes. So, but I haven't had to coach a game from start to finish. So it'll be an exciting time, but there's not one game on the schedule that I don't think that our guys can go in and compete and have a chance to win.
Funny you bring that up. Jeff's sitting over here off camera, but he's like, you know what, you got to ask Coach Patrick. Now that you're running the program, you're the head coach, you call the shots. What's the most enjoyable thing so far of being the head coach at UC Riverside? And what's maybe a challenge that now that you're the head coach, that you're having to, take upon yourself? Yeah.
Well, the enjoyable thing is I can kind of call my hours. It's been the first time I told my wife since I was probably 14 where I can no one's telling me when to be at a practice or when to check in. You know, if I want to give over practice to one of my assistants, I can. If I want to take my kids to school and get a little bit late into the office, I can. So that's been a positive. You know, it doesn't mean I don't work, but at least I have some flexibility with my own schedule. The negative's been just every single day, whether it's the light being changed in the facility, whether it's where does the logo go on the jersey, what color do you want the jersey to be? They're questions I never got asked as an assistant.
Because you're probably the last one that you or Tamika, the athletic director, is probably the last one to sign off, right, on some of this stuff?
Yeah, for sure. You know, what flights the guys need to be on. Like they are challenges. Obviously, I love it, but they're definitely stuff that if I didn't have to do it, I wouldn't.
It's all the non-basketball things, right? The practices and the games are probably the good stuff, right?
Exactly. And the great stuff is being a part around you guys as well, you know. I wouldn't do it as an assistant.
Even Jeff?
Even Jeff. Even Jeff, buddy.
Coach, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about this exciting Cal Baptist matchup that we're going to see this season as well. You're very tight with Rick Croy, the head basketball coach at CBU. Are you excited about, you know, not only the rivalry, but also kind of going up against a friend and kind of building this community of basketball in Riverside and kind of getting together with the Lancers? Yeah,
look, I think anytime you have two local teams playing against each other now at the Division I level, which they've come into, it's great, you know, for basketball in the Inland Empire, which I think is good. You know, the negative for me is, like you said, Rick's a good friend. Our kids are close friends. I think my kids are staying at his house this weekend. But you know, that's the challenge. But you know, I think the same way I am for him is he'll be rooting for me during the season. It just won't be between now and November 29th when we play them at home.
Yeah, because I think you guys will go back and forth between the two campuses for the next couple of years, but the first one will be inside the SRC arena. Coach, we always appreciate the time. I know that Oregon State game is going to creep up on us fast. Is there any exhibition games on the schedule before you see the Beavers?
No, we don't. That's our first hit out. We have a closed scrimmage against a WAC opponent, but then our first real game will be on the road up in Oregon.
We're excited to see it. Thanks, Coach. We appreciate the time. Good seeing you again.
Thanks so much for having me on.
That's David Patrick, the head men's basketball coach at UC Riverside. When we come back, we'll talk a little Centennial football here on the brand new Inland Sports TV show.
This is Sharice Wright, cornerback for the Oakland Raiders, Raider Nation.
Thanks,
Colton, I got you.
Yeah.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Spoiled. Quick, quality oil change. Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled. Kin Sporting Goods. They have all of your sporting gear needs, Letterman's jackets, and team uniforms. Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. You're going to save thousands of dollars at Catalano Motors. And Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass. Athletes of all levels and all sports are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona.
I played once upon a time at Centennial High School. I was actually on the first ever CIF championship team back in 2000, and then my senior year we won it again. I say that's my passion because I've done it. You know, I know exactly where these athletes are at. I know what their mindset is right now. I know how hard it is to, number one, find a performance coach who can take you to the next level. What sets us apart has to be, you know, how we work with our athletes and what we know. We can take an athlete and you know, help them reach their athletic potential, you know, help them, you know, prevent injuries, help get them stronger. I know every single athlete who steps into this gym. I know exactly where they're at, and I'm going to progress them every week. If you're not getting results, then, you know, really what's it about? We're going to deliver something that's measurable, you know, in terms of speed, power, you know, strength, agility.
We're a small family-owned, strive for quality pre-owned vehicles. We're not a volume dealer, and we take every deal as personal to us. We're a low-stress environment. We're not a pressure sales house. If you want to shop us, you're more than welcome to shop us. We have, like I said, great rates, competitive financing, a lot of one-owner, clean Carfax, clean title vehicles. As you see, we have Carfax everywhere. That's most important to us, to educate our customers before they make a purchase. We're right off of Ontario, right off a couple exits off the 15 freeway, off Cajelco, off El Cerrito, and we're right on the main drag going into Dos Logos and the crossings. We have great financing, we have great lenders that we're using. We do buy, sell, trade, cash for your car. Whatever we need to do to help accommodate the customer, that's what we're here for. We have a little bit of everything. We start at about $69.95 and go all the way up to $100,000. We have Escalades, we have commuters, we have pickup trucks, we have Jeeps, sport utilities, and if we don't have it, our specialty is finding you exactly what you're looking for.
This is Centennial High School football coach Matt Logan. You're watching the Inland Sports Show.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports TV show. Jeff Gorham, Pep Fernandez. We just had David Patrick from UC Riverside here joining us live in studio. One of our favorites, great dude.
I'm excited for one reason. We've seen him recruit. He recruited the NBA Rookie of the Year, Ben Simmons, who's also his godson?
That's an easy recruit, though. You know what I mean? Like, if that's your godson, of course you got to land him.
But I'll tell you what, there are some big things in store for UC Riverside basketball, and I'm really excited. It's going to be a good year, and it's nice to see Riverside's going to kind of rally around him, and it's going to be a great battle to see them go against Cal Baptist.
We love the CBU rivalry. They got some local guys that we're familiar with. Dikembe Martin from JW North, Johnny Kennedy from the Rancho Verde High School, Dominic Pickett as well. So they got local guys. They got an exciting coach in David Patrick. They got CBU on the schedule. They're opening at Oregon State. There's a lot to love about the Highlanders this season. So
yes, there is.
We're excited about that. All right, let's go to high school football. We're going to spend a lot of high school football here on the Inland Sports Show as we go through the non-league season in the league and in the playoffs and whatnot. We got to talk about Centennial. In fact, we could probably talk about Centennial every single week on this show, Jeff.
Well, you have to. I mean, they're the best. You have to say there's Mater Dei, there's De La Salle, and then you have the evil empire, Centennial High School.
I look at those so-called national rankings and state rankings, and I just it's kind of nonsense. I know with Max Preps, they just calculate a bunch of numbers and stuff. And the thing about Centennial is, and I go to these games and I say the same thing over and over and over, they're not always the biggest team. No. You look at their skill position players, and Chandler might have guys who pass the eyeball test more than Centennial, but Matt Logan is unbelievable, and he's so good at halftime adjustments. He can, pinpoint a weakness or what they're maybe lacking in at halftime. They adjust. They come out in the second half. That's exactly what they did in that win against Orange Lutheran in week 1.
Yeah, when you beat a Trinity League team and you beat them handily. I mean, they start off slow, but like you said, they made the adjustment. And they put the hurt to them, actually.
Yeah, they were down, 21-10 at halftime, and they came back and outscored them. It was like 35-7 in the second half, or 38-7 in the second half. It was unbelievable. That's why we had to send our own Cullen Holt out to Centennial practice on Monday to catch up with Matt Logan, get his thoughts on this 2-0 start for the Centennial Huskies and who they got coming up next. Cullen?
Well, Centennial football coach Matt Logan says it's still a little bit too early to tell where this year's team stacks up against Husky teams of the past. But after 2 big wins over Chandler, Arizona and Orange Lutheran, it's obvious that the evil empire will once again be a force to be reckoned with. I got the chance to catch up with Coach Logan on Monday at practice as the team prepares to face Pittsburgh on Friday night.
Enough to get the job done. We are a young team, an inexperienced team, and only having 3 starters on offense coming back and 4 on defense to beat those teams and still have a lot of growth on our standpoint in terms of getting better. Very happy with where we are right now. Just get better. It is every week. We don't really. We put a little emphasis on who we're playing, but the emphasis is more on us and the things that we need to do, improve upon from the week before, in order to get better.
Looking ahead to Pittsburgh, what can we expect in that game?
Oh gosh, they're very talented, very athletic. They were a state bowl team last year, so we got to work cut out for us again. And I think their strengths are kind of where our weaknesses are, so it'll be a really good test for us.
How does this year's team stack up to maybe some of the teams you've had in the past?
I think it's too early to tell that, but I'll tell you what, in terms of what we've gone through in a short amount of time, I don't know if a team has been tested in regards to that, and having to deal with the issues with practices and some of our families and coaches being, having to evacuate their homes and having to deal with us traveling to different places for practices, and then, going down by 3 scores really, or 2 scores in the game on Friday night, having to come back. So they've faced a lot in a short amount of time, and they've handled that very well.
Big 8 league this year is going to be good as always. What can you expect when you hit league play later in the season?
I expect those teams to be ready to play us, just like they always are. Santiago's off to a good start, Norco's off to a good start, Roosevelt as well, and Corona got the first win last week. So everybody's right there.
Well, the Huskies are once again the favorites to win that Big 8 league. They'll start Big 8 play on September 27th against the Santiago Sharks, a game that can actually be heard live right on the Inland Sports YouTube channel. Pep and Jeff, back to you guys.
Great job, Cullen. Man, he's growing up right in front of us, Jeff.
Yeah, he was 12. Now he's 13.
Is he really?
and doing a great job.
Went out there to Centennial, and again, we're excited about the Huskies. It always seems to boil down to Mater Dei and Bosco and De La Salle and Centennial at the end of the season. And this is a really fun group for Centennial because usually you have, like a Tanner McKee or a Miles Reed, a big-time running back coming into the season. I mean, they got Gary Bryant. We knew about him at receiver, but they got a lot of guys really just kind of stepping up. They've got a two-headed monster in running back with Cortez and Kinslow, but this is a pretty fun Centennial team that I think by the end of the season will become household names that we'll be talking about a lot on this show.
Well, and the good thing is I've had a chance to sit down with Matt Logan. I've watched his practices. His practices are run like a finely tuned college program.
Every minute. They squeeze every minute out of it.
They have managers that are timing every single drill. They do an excellent job. I've never seen a high school be that organized, and Matt Logan, the evil empire, the Sith Lord himself, is probably the best at that, his game as far as a high school football coach.
Now, Centennial opened the season at San Bernardino Valley College because of the Holy Fire, which was burning dangerously close to the Corona and Elsinore area, so they moved it to SBVC. That's where they beat Chandler from Arizona. And at the time, Chandler from Arizona was number 10 in the nation, according to Max Prep. Centennial was number 17, so it was a mild upset, although we know how good Centennial actually is. But they opened at SBVC. And speaking of the Wolverines, Jeff, they're going to open up their college football season this Saturday on the road at Santa Ana. So actually 2 back-to-back games for SBVC to open up the season. They'll play at Santa Ana, and then they're going to play at Santa Barbara, and then back home for the home opener, Jeff, on September 15th. The Bell game. It does not get any bigger than this. It goes all the way back to 1926. Huge game for SBVC.
1926, good golly. I'll tell you what, though, that is going to be the game. And I'll tell you, Daniel Algadas has done a great job of recruiting not only Inland Empire guys, but Inland Empire coaches. He brought over Derek Johnson, former head coach at Notre Dame High School, and Lance Pfeiffer, who was also the coach at Canyon Springs. So he's not only taking great players, but he's bringing on great coaches to his staff.
They scrimmaged against Mount Sac, and they did keep the score. We were there, and I was telling you, I'm like, I can't believe they're actually keeping the score on the scoreboard. And I asked the coach at the end of the game, Coach Algadas, I'm like, do you pay attention to the score? Or is it just more about working on things and trying to keep everyone injury-free and healthy? He's like, oh, no. We look at the score, and I forget, it was like 44-21.
Yeah.
It was kind of a couple touchdown advantage for Mount Sac, but still, SBVC looked really good. They've got Cade Sparks at quarterback, the former Summit High School, who's a Division I bounce back from Indiana State. They're going to be in good hands. In fact, they got IE guys all over the place. It's kind of like an Inland Empire All-Star game. RCC is very similar. They get a lot of bounce backs too. So that's going to be a great game, a great rivalry game. The Bell game, again, going back to 1926. We get to see it. SBVC's home opener coming up on September 15th against RCC. Also opening this week, this Saturday, not only SBVC, but also the University of Redlands. We were out at practice. Go ahead and roll that practice video of the Bulldogs. Jeff, Mike Maynard is back for his 31st season. He continuously has the Bulldogs as one of the top teams in the state, in the SCIAC, in the country. It can go on and on and on. And they got local guys too, and it feels like college football, like a real college football environment out there at the Runner.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if you haven't been to the Runner and checked out a football game at the University of Redlands, you really haven't lived. You need to go out there. Anybody watching, you need to go out and see. This is the best college atmosphere of anywhere in the Inland Empire.
Yeah, you haven't lived yet until you go out to the U of R, see a football game. They're going to open up Saturday night at home against George Fox University from Oregon. We had a chance to catch up with Mike Maynard, the head coach of the Bulldogs, talk about this year's team and trying to win another SCIAC title and get back to the postseason. Here's Coach Maynard. Excited about?
Well, I thought our defense played really well. I thought they ran to the football well. They pursued well. And, you know, usually in the first scrimmage, tackling is always a criticism, but we tackled well. And so I felt really good about that. You know, there's a lot of things that we need to fix, you know, blocking and you know, getting the right people on the right people. But I really was happy with the way we tackled and the way we pursued the ball. I guess that would be the number one thing. There were some good things on offense in the kicking game as well, but really that was the main thing.
All right, on the flip side, I guess I have to ask, where are some areas that you want to clean up before you see George Fox?
Well, there's a lot. I mean, we're really inconsistent. We're a young team, so we need to play a lot. We need to scrimmage a lot and just try to become more consistent. Technically, really is really our biggest thing. We just haven't blocked a lot of different fronts, and we haven't seen a lot of different looks on offense, especially. So we just need to clean up that so that we know where we're targeting and you know what we're going to do against the fronts that we're going to see from George Fox.
All right, so that was Mike Maynard, the head football coach at the University of Redlands Bulldogs, getting after George Fox University this Saturday night. College football's here. I mean, we got USC and UCLA opening. We got SBVC, RCC, U of R.
And they're all big-time coaches. And looking at Coach Maynard, I'll tell you what, he's the poster child for college football. If you look at him, he is the epitome of that guy.
It's funny you say that because we interviewed Ken Batdorf at Norda Vista High School yesterday, and he's been at Norda Vista High School for 25 years.
Whoa, well, that's a quarter of a century, Pep.
He's one of the longest tenured, active coaches anywhere in California. But after seeing Mike Maynard right now, I just thought, okay, he's not high school football, it's college, but still, he might be the old ball coach, right? I called Kim Batdorf the old ball coach, but I think Mike Maynard's the old ball coach.
Between the two of those guys, they've got over 50 years of coaching between them. That's crazy.
And they got some Novi guys out at the University of Redlands as well. There's a good connection there. All right, when we come back here on the brand new Inland Sports TV show, we are going to talk Cal Baptist volleyball. Wow. What a way to break into the Division I era, really for all the CBU sports, but volleyball really making a great early statement. And we'll also talk California League Baseball as the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, Jeff, unstoppable.
They're tearing it up, and I can't wait to talk about what they're doing right now. It's the best record in the entire minor league system across America.
All right, Cal League Baseball and CBU volleyball when we come back on the Inland Sports TV show.
Hello, everybody. This is Mike Maynard, the head football coach at the University of Redlands, and you're watching the Inland Sports Show.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Spoiled. Quick, quality oil change. Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled. Kin Sporting Goods. They have all of your sporting gear needs, Letterman's jackets, and team uniforms. Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. You're going to save thousands of dollars at Catalano Motors. And Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass. Athletes of all levels and all sports are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona.
First rep in the event center.
Yeah, we have beauty marks on our forehead. A couple of subtle differences. Madison's
and welcome back to the Inland Sports TV show. Jeff Gorham, Pep Fernandez. Our final segment here, Jeff, and we got to circle back to Cal Baptist volleyball. They opened the season at a tournament at Mississippi State. That's SEC country.
Good golly, and I think they did pretty well.
They went 4-0. In fact, in their 4 matches, in terms of sets, they were 12-1 in sets won. They only gave up 1 set. I think it was like Georgia State. It wasn't even the Mississippi State. They swept Mississippi State in that final match. So what a way to kind of usher in that Division I era for Cal Baptist University, Cal Baptist volleyball. We had a chance to catch up with head coach Brandon Higa. They got back from Starkville, Mississippi, where Mississippi State is located. So let's go inside the Lancers, presented by Magnolia Heating and Cooling. Here's CBU head volleyball coach Brandon Higa.
I'm just really pleased how it went. You never really know how a young team is going to react and how any team is going to react in their first timeout, their first run. And for us to have the added factor of this is our first official Division I match and tournament, all those things added up together. Our team really handled it well, and I think that was kind of the big takeaway from the entire weekend for me was our team was really poised throughout the whole experience. We had some travel issues getting out there. They handled it beautifully, and it was really just an incredible time as a team just to go that far and to go someplace new for everyone. And to go out and compete and win our first couple matches at the D1 level was big.
Specifically, what are some of the things that went right for you guys that you're going to build on this season?
We controlled the ball really, really well. So we passed well, and we defended well. And we just figured out we were really good if we kept the ball in play. We've got some really good arms in the gym and some people that can score, but we can also play defense and pass really well. So I was really pleased with that. We didn't get aced very much, and we were just able to continually apply pressure to teams and see if they could handle it or if they couldn't, and we came out on top.
When you get wins against teams like Mississippi State, names kind of everybody recognizes,
Yeah.
Does that feel like it means a little bit more?
On a personal level, I used to work at Mississippi State. That's where I was before I came to Cal Baptist. And so it was nice to get a win against them on a personal level. For the team, it does mean something. We try to not play the jersey. We're playing against the opponents and trying to figure them out and play the game versus them. It does mean something, to be able to be a school that's, Cal Baptist, an emerging D1 school, and to take a win off of a Power 5, off of an SEC school. That is pretty big. I'd be lying to say that it wasn't.
Coach, it's September 11th, right? You guys come back home and you get to play in Van Dyne in front of home fans. You guys looking forward to that?
Absolutely. We have an incredible crowd. We have a new court. They've upgraded our facility huge, and we're really, really excited. The new school year is just about here. Students are about to get here, and the vibe and the energy is picking up on campus. And we're always excited to play at home in front of our home fans. And I'm really looking forward to the new experiences that we can create and build here, not only with what they've done with the facility and what they're going to be doing with the game time environment for our fans, but just who we are as a team. And one of the things you find out when you go on a long road trip and spend a lot of time with your team for the first time is just what kind of people you have. And we've got great people on this team, and the women that we have here they're great players, they're great people, the fans are going to love them. It's exciting to watch us play because we'll defend and extend rallies and come up with some magic. I'm really excited to show our fans and show the students what we're all about.
And Coach, a couple of girls from your program signed professional contracts this summer.
Yeah.
How cool is that for you as a coach?
It's really cool. It's something that I've always wanted for our program. And to see that come to fruition and to have it be Lauren, who was a star from day one in our program, is amazing. And what she wants to do with and through the sport of volleyball and on a professional level to impact just the greater good of our world is amazing. And then for Sydney, someone who transferred in and stepped in and went from not playing at another school to a 2-time All-American to now a professional volleyball player. It just reinforces my belief that if people want something, they can figure out a way to do it. And I'm just incredibly proud of both of them for making the decision to pursue it. And they both had their first tournaments this weekend, and they said it went pretty well, and they're adjusting to European life and loving it. So hopefully we'll be sending a lot more players over to play professionally in the future.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Coach.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, so that was Coach Higa, Cal Baptist University volleyball head coach, as we went inside the Lancers, presented by Magnolia Heating and Cooling. So Kellen was telling us off camera, Coach Higa actually coached at Mississippi State, so it was kind of like a reunion, a homecoming of sorts, to go down there, and then he beat them, so that's the good part.
Yeah, it's always nice when you can coach the team that you used to coach and beat them. That's always nice when you can do that.
So we started off the show with some good news, right? That Etiwanda Marietta Mesa football game, the way it ended, a special moment there. We're going to wrap things up with something else that's pretty cool, because the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes baseball team is red hot right now in the California League. So if you're a Dodgers fan and you're like, oh man, it's going south right now, they got to pull things together. I know they just swept the Padres, but hey, there's relief. If you look at the minor league system, if you look at Rancho Cucamonga, you got to be excited about some of the young guys, Jeff. They're playing really well right now.
I'll tell you what, it's the first time since 2011 that they have clinched both the first and second half championships. They're 31 games over 500, Pep.
Which is crazy.
And they have the best record of any minor league team in the entire country.
So Rancho Cucamonga, you win the first half title. You already punch your ticket to the California League playoffs. They go out. How many did they win in a row at one point? And we got some highlights we want to show you of the Quakes as well.
I think they won 14 in a row, but they're finishing up here.
Which was a franchise record as well, yeah.
They also had the longest hitless or scoreless streak, which lasted, I think, 6.5 games, which is a Cal League record as well.
So they were setting all these records. They win the first half title. They win the second half title. Now, the franchise record for wins in a season was what, 81?
81.
And now they're at 82?
82 and 51 on the year.
So they already blew through the franchise record for wins in a season, and we're still going through. Is it Memorial Day? I think they play the Cal League, kind of wraps up on Memorial Day. So they still got a couple of weeks here to round things out and maybe even add to that win total before you get to the Cal League playoffs.
Yeah, their last homestand will be next week, and then they have another week after that, and then they're going to hit into the playoffs right away after.
And they had Ryland Bannon. He was the Cal League MVP. They had Julio Urias from the Dodgers. He had 4 starts for Rancho Cucamonga. The most recent was Monday night, and he looked great. 2 innings, no runs, no hits, 4 strikeouts. I mean, the Quakes got Dodgers on the mound. They're winning games. They're breaking records.
The biggest thing is I can think of is the turnover. They've had guys go up all season long. They've had Dodgers come in and fill in relief for rehab starts, but they just continued to win by subtraction. It's pretty unheard of in the minor league system.
Yeah, they're off to a great start. We'll see if they can continue this and win another California League championship this season. But they are your first half and second half. They split the Cal League season into 2. They are your first half and second half champions. All right, back here as we wrap things up. Again, this is our maiden voyage, our inaugural TV show here, Jeff.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Like I said, you and I have logged a lot of hours these last 2 years. And it's always nice that we can bring a positive spin on our local athletes, local teams, local coaches.
Follow us, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We still do it all. Inland Sports Show. And then if you'd like to sponsor the show, just shoot us an email, inlandsportshow@gmail.com. We'd really appreciate it. So every Tuesday, we're going to be locked down here at Val Verde High School, Teen Vision, TV 16. They gave us the run of this studio, Jeff, which is unbelievable. We used all the bells and whistles. We had Coach Patrick over here. We had Cullen over there. It was awesome.
This is one of the nicest facilities, and it's great to involve the local high school kids.
I think Jim Alexander from the Press Enterprise might be here, too. I heard he's wandering around.
He is in the back over there, but he's over at the Crafts Food Services where there's water and food. He's over there in the corner.
That's where I'd be as well, too. So, guys, we appreciate you watching. Thank you. We love the Inland Empire. We love talking about Inland Empire sports. We're going to do this every single Tuesday. And again, don't forget, Thursday night, 7 o'clock, live radio back on the Inland Sports Channel. We're going to broadcast live Arlington at Harupa Hills football. For Jeff Gorham and everyone here at Teen Vision TV 16, Johnny Nunez and his crew, I'm Pep Fernandez. We'll see you next time on the Inland Sports TV show.